going on, everybody? Just wanted to make a really quick video. Shouldn't be more than a couple minutes. But I rewatched my stream from earlier and kind of messed around with the sheet a bit after updating it when I got home today. We did go Black Friday shopping, but we went to Home Depot, which was kind of a haven from the Black Friday madness. But yeah, I took a look back at the video that I recorded earlier and took a look at the sheet. And one thing I realized was I want to visualize for you guys the like the whole plus minus element for recent form. I was having a hard time explaining it, for some reason, like explaining plus minus versus a player's last 2 weeks. And I just realized that I needed to add something to the sheet. So that's what I did. So I just want you to take a look at this real quick and I'll explain. And of course, my window is not working. Hang on. There we go. All right, technical difficulties. So here's the sheet. I see a couple of you are in there. That's awesome. All right. So what you see here is an addition. You've got the actual salary. You've got their expected salary. And you've got the discount. First of all, before I even explain this, I want to show you this right here. This before was their FanDuel points per game over their last 2 weeks. This is actually now their FanDuel points per game for the season and their season-long plus minus. I think as time goes on, I'm going to want a bigger sample size for a plus minus. But I want something that I can factor in that'll give, like that's going to carry a lot of weight for their weighted plus minus. And that's going to be this column here, the discount column. So let me explain. You have their salary. This is the player's actual current salary. And then you have their expected salary. And I believe you should see here on the little bar here, the formula bar. By the way, if you don't know what VLOOKUP is, get your life together and learn some VLOOKUP. All right, maybe I'll do a VLOOKUP video sometime. Anyways, you can see here that we are dividing their last 2 weeks, okay, their last 2 weeks FanDuel points per game by 5. And if you remember from earlier, the video, why by 5? 5 is our constant. 5 is, we're shooting for 5x value. We're always shooting for 5x value, okay? So whatever Trey Burke has scored over the last 2 weeks, that divided by 5 gives you $6,800. Meaning, if Trey Burke was $6,800 at 5x, he would score what he has recently averaged. However, he's priced at $4,900. So you're getting a $1,900 discount. The biggest discount of the slate based on this method. Dennis Schroeder, same deal. He's a $6,000 player, but recently he's performing as a $7,500 player based on the 5x value multiplier constant. And just for fun, I mean, we can change this. I can go ahead and just delete all this. Like, let's say I want to be even more picky. And I want to turn this constant into 6x value. Okay. If I'm shooting for 6x value, then that, and it's got to do its whole process because I got a buttload of conditional formatting here. So 6x value is a bit more conservative. If we want 6x value to be our baseline, we want it to be our like what we're shooting for. 6x. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Like 6x would be your whole lineup going 6x would be 360 points, which is a lot. Well, actually, not really, because now with the FanDuel dropping your lowest score, assuming your lowest score dropped is your $3,500 player, then it's a bit less than 360. I don't know what it would be. I can't do it in my head right now. Point is we could do 6x, make that the constant, and as you can see here, there's really two guys that really stand out as being underpriced, and we can sort by the discount. Well, actually, there's more than two. Trey Burke, Dennis Schroeder, Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green, and then Tristan Thompson's right on track there. Bojan Bogdanovic is like right behind, as is Millsap, KCP, Mitchell Robinson, Terrence Ross, etc. That just really shows you how great Trey Burke has been lately and how cheap he is. I mean, what if we just go to 7x and see what happens there? So I'm just undoing a few things here, and I'm going to go to 7x and see what happens there. I'm interested to see. I'm going to give it a moment. This is some heavy-duty processing here. But, drum roll. Oh my God. Oh, hey, look, there you go. Right on the nose, 4,900. So, I mean, just think about that for a second. That really puts into perspective for you how cheap Trey Burke is based on his recent form. His recent form is that of, going off of the 5x constant. I'm going to leave it as 5x because that's kind of like the magic number for NBA DFS on FanDuel is you want all your guys to get 5x value so you can reach 300 points. But that's just crazy. Like that he's playing like a $6,800 player and he's 4,900. And if we filter out all the other positions but point guard, sort by salary, by actual salary, and look at who is an actual $6,800 point guard. So yeah. So Ricky Rubio is 6,900. And he is playing like a $6,100 point guard right now, recently. And Trey Burke is 4,900 and he's playing like a $6,800 point guard. So you are basically getting, Ricky Rubio or Kyle Lowry, maybe a little cheaper version of Eric Bledsoe, for $4,900. He's not guaranteed minutes. He's projected for 27 minutes as of my 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time update. However, the guy is playing out of his mind. He's super cheap. He is scoring at will. He's their top option. on their second unit. I think he's on their second unit. I'm pretty sure he is, last I saw. He's kind of like Jonas Valanciunas, but at point guard. You know, the Raps, they just let Joe Val go bananas on the second unit. Same deal with Trey Burke. So there you go. I just wanted to make this video real quick and explain this for you guys. Nothing else has changed since earlier other than these two things. And again, just to recap, the two things that have changed. The FanDuel points per game, their recent points per game, it's no longer in here. This is their season FDP. Let's do whatever. Season. There. We'll do like that. Season FanDuel points per game. And then the plus minus. So this season, if we sort by this column, so Schroeder, Paul George, Terrence Ross, then Ayton, Bembry, and Magruder to a lesser degree. I think Bembry and Magruder are more like when there are injuries and they're forced into a primary role in their respective teams, they kind of step up. But Ross, George, and Schroeder are awesome discounts based on what they've been doing this season versus their salary. And then in recent form, if you want to express recent form, of course, you can look over here at the salary stuff. And again, I've got their actual salary in the SAL column, the expected salary, which is their last 2 weeks FanDuel points per game divided by 5. And the difference between the salary and the expected points, which can be looked at as a discount. I don't know if I should show this in percent form. We can even look at it in percent form just for fun. Divided by C2. And then I will let that do its thing and apply it to all of this stuff right here. Percent form might actually be an interesting way to look at this because we can see the higher and lower price guys in a different light. So we'll move this to percent. And you know what? I don't want decimals. I just want single percent. There. And then we'll sort descending. And then I'll show you one more cool thing that I noticed as well. The unrosterable players. A cool way to find out if a player is unrosterable. Okay, so Trey Burke is a 39% discount. That's kind of cool. 39% off for Black Friday. Aaron Holiday, 27% off. Schroeder, 25% off. So on and so forth. And what I was referring to here, I'm going to just sort by ascending, by expected fantasy points. And so this is kind of cool, is anybody who is under 3,500 is unrosterable, theoretically. Why is that? Because their recent form divided by 5, again, their last 2 weeks FanDuel points per game divided by the 5x value multiplier constant, gives you an expected salary of less than 3,500. So, for example, Seth Curry, his expected salary is $1,100. That's not good. And so on and so forth. So if we sort by weighted plus minus, like the magic number, that we all should be looking at, that is actually really helpful for us. Yes, Antonio Blakeney. Somebody tell me how to pronounce this guy's name. Blakeney. I don't know what it is. So even though he pops up on here as a nice 4.6 weighted plus minus, his expected salary is $2,800. So he's really more of a guy who is only rosterable when there are a lot of injuries. And even then, you got to hope that he gets into the rotation and the game script kind of goes in his favor. David Nwaba, similar situation here. Not the exact same thing, but similar situation in that he's cheap, $3,900, but he's basically playing like a $3,900 player. You're only getting a 4% discount on his recent form, and you compare him to, say, I don't know. I'm trying to find like someone who's a bigger discount here. Okay, like Terrence Ross, he's 4K, but you're getting a considerably higher discount with Terrence Ross, 4% to 10%. So, like, for example, if we filter out and we only look at cheap guys, let's go for 4,500 and less. And then we'll sort by weighted plus minus. And you'll notice, like, who, I guess, like, the theory here is weighted plus minus factors in what they're projected to do tonight at a projected ceiling floor basis, what their projected fantasy points per minute will be, how they've done on a season-long time frame as far as plus minus goes. All that is baked into it, and then added to that is their the discount. Okay, so the discount can give you some context here. So yes, your top three guys are Nwaba, Blakeney, and Mills, and Rozier. Okay, those are all your guys over 4.0 and over weighted plus minus. However, Mills and Nwaba are really the only two that are earning their salary. Like, it's nothing to write home about as far as like earning a 4K salary. That's not very good, right? But Blakeney and Rozier are earning salaries that don't even exist in the player pool. So that gives you some context. So I guess who has the best recent form for all the cheap guys, and that's Aaron Holiday, who's been getting more run here with Victor Oladipo out. He's been playing like a $4,800 guy. That's a 27% discount. Jeff Green, with Dwight Howard out, Markieff Morris kind of sucking, Kelly Oubre, Otto Porter, kind of, there isn't that solid rotation really. So Jeff Green has been emerging lately, and he's considerably cheaper than those guys. So he's playing more like a $5,200 player. Mitchell Robinson, I mean, Fizdale in that rotation in New York is not very clear at any point in time. So, yeah, Mitchell Robinson, I mean, it might be fool's gold here with that 10% discount because Cantor's reemerged and Noah Vonleh is carving out like a really nice role there for himself. Terrence Ross, though, He can score in bunches. He's their de facto sixth man, top dog on their second unit. So his weighted plus minus is legit. If you want to save tonight, you can definitely roster Terrence Ross. I like him too because they're going against Denver on the road. Orlando is, and Denver's the best defensive team, arguably, in the NBA. And, if that starting lineup, first unit, has issues with the starters on the Denver side of the ball, maybe Ross draws some weaker competition and, maybe Orlando's chasing Denver by a considerable margin and he just gets to fire up shots and gets a lot of usage. There's my narrative there. KCP, he, for whatever reason, is getting actual playing time and, when you get good minutes, you can do something with it, right? And so on and so forth. So think of it like that. I guess the other one you can do here is we can look at the more expensive guys. So maybe we'll just go like 9K and up. And we'll sort by the discount. So Kyrie, big discount. And if I did like over the last week, what has he had over the last week? Like 55, 59, something, 70, whatever. I mean, the dude is playing like a 11K point guard. Sorry, I thought I had to hiccup and I didn't. He's playing like an 11K point guard over the last week. And over the last 2 weeks, as you can see here, playing like a $10,000 point guard. So, can he actually keep moving up to that amount, that salary? That's an interesting question. And, on the road against Atlanta, I'm interested. Should be an interesting night for Mr. Irving. Vooch, Kemba, they're fairly priced. I don't know if I'd want to roster Vooch tonight because I think I can get Steven Adams, to return 40 points for much cheaper. And then I really like Joe Val tonight as well for much, much cheaper. I mean, Kemba's always a great play no matter who he's facing. Giannis and Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, John Wall, Embiid, and maybe to like a lesser degree LeBron. They're all fairly priced. But then if you look down at Kawhi, and this is definitely something that I've noticed, and it's kind of like just by observation, but now that it's quantified in front of me, it really hits hard. Is I have rostered Kawhi several times this year, and I cannot get him right. And I'm like, damn, what the hell am I rostering Kawhi Leonard for? Like, this is ridiculous. The dude is so inconsistent this year on Toronto, and he's playing over the last 2 weeks like a $7,900 small forward. So he is, 20% higher, I guess, is, he should, you're paying a huge premium. I guess he should be, I don't want to say 20% less. I don't think that's right. Whatever. The point is Kawhi is way too expensive. Ben Simmons way too expensive. Apparently KD, Dame, Nico, they're expensive, but Kawhi and Ben Simmons, like, no thank you. I will not be using those gentlemen this evening. Thank you very much. Anthony Davis, though, is a lock for me, without a doubt. All right. I said this video is going to be short, and I'm probably chasing like 20 minutes right now. 25 minutes. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps you tonight. We'll recap and see the performance of the model soon. Ciao.